It's December 19th, and today Santa Claus could go from 0 to downright goofy in 2.5 seconds.
Your beard.
They said at the hairdresser that this makes me look younger. What do you think? Yeah.
Leslie Nielsen was born Leslie William Nielsen in Regina, Saskatchewan in 1926. Leslie Nielsen developed a very early interest in acting when he realized how his friends reacted differently once they learned that he was related to famed radio and film star Jean Hersholt. At the age of 17, Nielsen enlisted in the Royal Canadian Air Force. Now, Nielsen may have been legally deaf and required a hearing aid for most of his life, but he was still trained as an aerial gunner for World War II. Although for the duration of the war, he was considered legally too young to be sent into a combat zone. Following his military service, he worked briefly as a radio DJ before receiving a scholarship to the neighborhood playhouse and moving to New York City, where he also began working in small theater companies. In 1950, he made his television debut. That same year, he was featured in 46 live broadcasts, but mostly he went unnoticed by the public. His film debut in The Vagabond King didn't exactly set the world on fire, but it did earn him a place in a little movie called Forbidden Planet. A series of roles at MGM followed, but Nielsen eventually left because he grew tired of the stock leading man roles that the studio was giving him. Instead, he accepted a role as Francis Marion in Disney's The Swamp Fox. He continued as a prolific television guest star and appeared in a handful of movies, including The Poseidon Adventure. Then his career found new life with his performances in Airplane and The Naked Gun, movies that married his deadpan leading man delivery with wild visual gags and slapstick. While Nielsen loved acting, it has been said that his one true passion in life was golf. He once said, "I have no goals or ambitions. I do, however, wish to work enough to maintain whatever celebrity status I have, so that they will continue to invite me to golf tournaments."
It seems like it's such a fun time.
Well, it can be, I guess.
What is so special about this time?
Oh, you're asking the wrong
Merry
guy.
Christmas, Santa.
Hello, everyone seems so friendly.
Could be what you're wearing, Nick.
So happy.
Directed by William Deere with a script by the team of Deborah Frank and Steve L. Hayes, 2000's Santa Who originally aired as an episode of The Wonderful World of Disney. It is the first writing credit shared by Frank and Hayes, who would go on together to write Home Alone 4, Mr. St. Nick, The Man Who Saved Christmas, and The Muppets Wizard of Oz. William Deere, meanwhile, was an alumnus of Michael Nesmith's Pacific Arts Corporation, having directed for them Time Rider, Elephant Parts, the music video for Michael Nesmith's Rio, and segments for Nesmith's television sketch series Television Parts, before going on to direct probably his two most successful projects, Harry and the Hendersons, and 1994's Angels in the Outfield. While Santa Who went largely unnoticed and was pretty much critically blasted when it was reviewed at all, it was nominated for a 2001 Saturn Award for Best Single Genre Television Presentation and for a Young Artist Award for Best Family TV Movie, Pilot, or Miniseries on a network.
No, I'm not overworked. Christmas is overworked. Commercialized, computerized. There has to be a special order now. Tickle me this and talk to me that. And the people go through the motions, but the spirit is not there. It's the magic is gone.
At the time that Santa Who filmed, Nielsen had already firmly embraced his new status as a well-loved funny man, and was in the middle of starring in a string of goofball comedies that largely ignored his previous deadpan persona. These movies were frequently very successful on the home video market, but were critical and box office failures. While its fate was the same, Santa Who is not one of these movies. It's a comedy, but a fairly low-key one. The dependence on slapstick and sight gags that marks much of Nielsen's later career isn't present in this film. Instead, the audience will find a fairly standard family comedy about a Santa Claus who suffers amnesia after falling out of his sleigh. And refreshingly, Nielsen returns to his straight man roots. Oh, there are gags, but mostly the gags come from being a funny character in a funny situation. For the most part, Nielsen plays Santa Claus straight, with very little in the way of the heightened camp of his later performances. His Santa is one who, before losing his memory, has begun to doubt the value of the work that he's doing. Does the world really need Santa Claus at this point? And is he the right Santa Claus? A question that becomes even more important to him after he discovers a pocket full of unread letters. But as he deals with his loss of memory, he gets a fresh perspective on the work that he's doing. He gets to view the children that he's working with without the added weight of several centuries of having performed this task. And through it all, he gets a greater sense of his place in the world. He is still helpful, sweet, and generous, but not because it's what's expected of him. It's because it's who he is genuinely at heart.
Oh, and weren't those kids wonderful this afternoon? I had forgotten.
What?
I don't know. You see, I can't even remember what I've forgotten.
Leslie Nielsen's father was a Danish-born Canadian Mountie, and his older brother served as Deputy Prime Minister of Canada from 1984 to 1986. On his growing silliness in later years, Nielsen said, "I don't think I'm getting funnier, I'm getting freer. The more confident you become, the freer you are to become who you really are." Meaning that at his heart, Leslie Nielsen genuinely considered himself to be a true goofball. What do you think? Have you seen Nielsen's performance in Santa Who? While most reviews are negative, the film has actually garnered a small cult following. Drop into the comments and let me know. After all, that's what the comments are there for. And while you're there, all of the standard buttons still work. You've got your like button, your dislike button, your subscribe button. You've got a little bell there you can click on in order to get notifications every time there's a new video. And you've got a share button for the Leslie Nielsen fan in your life who may not have already discovered this video on their own. You can find me on Twitter as @DoctorWho, and there is a Patreon link somewhere down there in the description. Until next time, I am Glenn Williams, reminding you to watch like it means something. And take care of yourself, because I can't be there to take care of you.